You're not on that meeting invite. Does that mean you're not important? Many of us have stared at our calendars and wondered why our name wasn't on the list for a big strategic discussion. Surely being in those rooms with those big hitters is the fast track to career growth, right? Not so fast. In product management, the real marker of influence isn't how often you sit in high-level meetings. It's how much value you create that naturally pulls you into the conversations that matter. Feeling left out of big meetings is common for product managers. It can stir up imposter syndrome or a creeping sense that you're not seen as valuable. But crashing a meeting or begging for an invite rarely changes that perception. What does? Building a reputation for delivering sharp, relevant insights. When your ideas directly connect to the company's strategy, you won't have to push your way into the room. The leaders will want you there. Here's a quick story about that pull in action. A friend of mine was working as a PM at a fast-growing SaaS company. Every week, the executive team held a strategy meeting. She noticed her peers jockeying for a spot at that table, lobbying managers, and even adding themselves to invites. None of it really worked, though. Instead of trying to wedge her way in, she started sending short write-ups after big product launches. Her updates didn't just list what shipped. They spelled out how the work tied directly into revenue and retention metrics. Within 2 months, executives were forwarding her notes to each other. Soon enough, she got a message from her VP. "Can you join us next week? We need your perspective in the room." That's pull at work. She didn't chase an invitation. Her contributions created the gravity that brought one to her. Let's talk about the power of push versus pull. Think about the last time you pushed your way into a meeting. Maybe you pinged the organizer, made a case for your inclusion, or even dropped by uninvited. It usually doesn't land well. At best, you get a seat at the table, but no real voice. At worst, you come across as overeager. The pull approach works differently. It's about drawing people in with your knowledge, perspective, and consistent contributions. Instead of lobbying for a chair at the table, you're building a reputation that makes leaders pull you in because they know you'll add value. This is especially relevant for product managers navigating the classic challenge of influence without authority. You often don't own the meeting. You don't control the agenda. What you do control is how you consistently bring clarity, context, and ideas that make decision-making easier for everyone else. Be the bringer of ideas, not instructions. Here's the nuance. Adding value doesn't mean dropping constant chatter in Slack or commenting on every thread. That's just noise. Instead, selectively share insights that map directly to your company's priorities. Bring in well-researched ideas that connect to long-term strategy, not just today's headlines. Over time, you'll be known as the product manager who consistently sharpens the conversation. One way to think about it, are you sharing to signal that you're working hard, or are you sharing to shape how others think about the work? The first fades quickly, the second builds a reputation that lasts. So here are your next steps to get pulled in. Number 1, research and share. When you find a study or article that sparks your thinking, don't just drop a link. Share a short take on what it means for your team or your company's direction. Show that you've done the thinking, not just the scrolling. Highlight connections. Always connect your input back to company goals. If you can draw a straight line between your idea and a top-level objective, you signal that you're operating at the same altitude as senior leaders. Number 3, consistent and conscious engagement. Influence comes from repetition. Make thoughtful contributions part of your rhythm, not just when you want visibility. Over time, the pattern becomes clear. You're someone worth pulling into the room. Number 4, frame for business impact. Executives don't just want roadmap updates. They want to know, how does this decision affect revenue, retention, or margin? If you can frame your contributions in those terms, you shift from project updates to business impact. And that's a language leaders will always invite into the room. So let's talk about redefining what being in the room means. Not being in a meeting isn't a verdict of your worth. In fact, it might be an opportunity. The most powerful moves often happen outside the conference room walls. As a product manager, your goal shouldn't be to push your way onto invite lists. It should be to become so valuable that you're pulled into the discussions where decisions get made. Start today. Share your perspective, connect it to strategy, and keep showing up with substance. When you shift from push to pull, you stop chasing influence and start attracting it. Soon enough, you'll find yourself in the rooms and conversations that matter because they'll want you there. And when that happens, you won't just have a seat at the table, you'll have a voice that counts. If you want help finding your voice and having a bigger impact on your business success, I'd love to support you, whether through coaching or custom workshops. Let's talk about a path that works for you. Book a call in the link below, and I'll see you next time.